Okay, so it's Saturday, May 4th, about 66 degrees, 18 degrees Celsius. We're down here at the Madison Apiary. I have to do a voiceover here because I forgot to bring my microphone. So the hives are looking really good. Got bees everywhere. Rain looks like it's going to be coming in here shortly. I'll walk over to the other stand here before we get into the hives. Brought some equipment down to add some space. Just wanted to check up on these hives to see how they were doing. Got a swarm trap over here to the left that we put up 2 weeks ago before we came back here, and there are bees in it. Got an email from my friend that there were bees swarming all over the box. And then we're going to check these hives here. The ones in the middle there were the splits we made. And then we have the one on the right there of the middle was one of the splits also. And here we are up at the swarm box. It does have bees flying in and out of it. We'll be moving those later in the day into a full hive that I'll be giving to my friend Boyd. And later on I actually do run out of battery and lose couldn't finish it on this specific video. I had to go back and do a update. So as you can see here, the split hives, the 4/4s, doing really well here. The one on the right is the one that has the one that we split. I did find out that we did make the right choice and put the bees in the middle, in the box to the right there with the yellow. The queen is in the box to the right as we advance into this video. The left hive there is the one that we have the Snellgrove board, the double screen board on, and trying to make a split on that one too. I didn't notice any queen in that one, but we'll check it again here in a couple weeks. We'll be back probably Memorial Day weekend to these hives. So we're just going to get into the left hive here before the rain comes in and see how they're doing. Give them a little smoke to calm them down. The entrance is on the back side. Normally I work from the back side of a hive, but when I got a split box like this, you're going to upset bees one side or the other. So probably going to need to put this hive into a full hive of its own next time I go down there in May, at the end of May here. This queen had a slow start of the season, but is looking really good now. You can see all that brood. Bees aren't really happy on cloudy, rainy days. They usually get after you a little bit. Wasn't too bad on this one at this time of day, but it is right before the storm comes in. Still working on my video technique here, trying to get my camera work better. It's hard when you just set up a tripod. I want to get one of the small stands that I can put a camera on the side. Bees are starting to draw this comb out a little bit on both sides, doing a pretty good job of it. Stick that back inside here. So as we get into this second box, the middle box of this 4/4 over 4 technically, 12 frames total, they're doing a pretty good job of drawing this frame out. And I believe I'm going to walk around here in just a second and show you how well they're drawing. So here we are, and you can see the eggs inside this frame. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And the eggs are doing really, you can see eggs just full. So this queen is doing really well now. That's why you don't want to rush things in beekeeping. The way the early signs were on this hive, it didn't look good at all. and then bam, the queen turned into an all-star here. The one in the backyard apiary did not, and I had that one fly away on me, as you guys saw. Didn't realize that she had flown onto me. But this hive is just packed out now. Drawing those frames out, with the nectar flow coming on here, it's definitely going to build out pretty heavily here in the next 3 weeks before we get back there. But like I said, I'm not too concerned about swarming too much, just as long as I have good healthy hives, and if the queens, if I can get an extra queen cell here and there and make a couple extra hives, I'm fine with that. I eventually want to sell nukes, but probably not this year. And you can see they've capped the brood here, and they're starting to backfill as the bees release, and they're filling in these gaps with nectar. And then you can see the milk brood there on the left, and we get into more eggs and stuff there. But as they start running out of space, as the bees emerge, if they don't have comb available, they'll just start plugging the holes, and then you get what's called honey bound. And last year I got pollen bound in one of my hives. They were bringing in so much pollen and weren't eating it. I needed to give them more space sooner. I'm going to stick these back in here, and I can see the rain on the pond hitting, so I'm at the point now where I just want to start wrapping this up, because I do not like the rain hitting the bees. The bees don't like the rain hitting them. It gets them a little more agitated, and it just makes it hard to work the bees when they're coming after you. So I try not to squish any bees here and just slide this box on. But there's always one or two that get caught, unfortunately. And I just push it back together here. We'll have to get the lid, kind of smoke them off the top here a little bit. Place the lid back on, brush them off. And we'll just wrap this up momentarily, and we'll add on to the video here in a second. Jordan will make it seamless with editing. You can see how active the bees here with the rain coming in. I was blocking their entrance, so they were having trouble getting in, but now that I've cleared out of the way, they're just all going back in for a landing and getting back in the hive. Okay, so that storm didn't last too long. Looks like we got about a 2-hour window, hopefully, to get back in the bees here. And we're going to make a split out of this hive real quick. See what happens. Pop this back open again. I'm sure the bees aren't going to be too happy with me coming back so quickly, but it's only about a 20-minute delay, which I'm pretty happy about. So I'm going to pull this one up for now, because I didn't see the queen before. So I'm going to have to find the queen and make this split. I know there's eggs in that top box, so that's going to be my frames I leave behind here for them to draw queen cells. Let's get back into these frames here, and we'll split this brood between the frames. This is pollen and eggs, so I'm going to leave this one behind. Yeah, this has all those eggs, so we'll leave that here. Find this queen. You can hear him get a little excited. This is full of nectar and pollen. And pull this frame over. Any foraging bees will go back to this original hive. Here comes the sun. Hopefully we can find the queen fairly quickly, and then I can just go away from there. And this is eggs and larvae. We got the some cap brood on this side that I showed you earlier. And larvae here. It's one of those foundationless frames. The bees have attached it on the bottom here, as you can see, and then you can see the light through. If it's not attached, you got to be really careful, because if you bend it, it could fall out on you. I am not seeing the queen on this frame. Stick this frame in here. So I know I have 2 frames of eggs here, so I could split these if I wanted. Put one on each side and just finish up the split right now. But I'm really interested in finding this queen. I know we found her the first time we were out here, because it was there weren't that many bees, and this hive really built up fast once she got going. Right there in the middle of the frame. So she's ready to move. That makes it simple. Like I said, when they got a nice dot on them. So I'm going to drop her right here in the middle. Trying to make sure I don't smash her when I push these together. She's right there in the middle of that frame. So I just go gently. And there we go. Now we have the queen there. So now I can take this frame rest off, shake those bees in there, and we are going to drop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the frame of eggs, even these out. Actually, let me look at these other 3 frames real quick, see if I want to move, or other 2 frames, see if I want to move any of these over to that hive. This is a lot of pollen. You want lots of pollen for this burr comb here that they drew off my beetle trap. There was a little space, so we're just going to pull that off. We'll put that in the quick container here in a minute. Break through this beetle trap here. I'm going to put this one back in here, because you want pollen right next to your eggs if you're going to be raising queens. I think it was Kamen that referred to it as the grocery store right next to the nursery. Kamen Reynolds. Pretty popular YouTube beekeeper. This one's pretty heavy too. And this is full of pollen too, yes. So I'm going to leave both these in this box here. And I'm going to put a frame of eggs right in between those 2. Set that down there. And then I'm going to put an empty frame here in the bottom. So they can draw that out for the new queen when she's ready to lay. And the cells that are here already, the bees will be emerging from those. So that will give her room to lay also. Okay. Let's give a little smoke here. I didn't find any queen cells, so like I said, this is another walk-away split. I'm okay with walk-away splits. I try to minimize my work the best I can. I have my hive beetle traps I got to put in. 2 of those. My diatomaceous earth. So this becomes a time factor. I did a lot of travel the last couple of years. And so Anita and Jordan were tasked with taking care of the bees sometimes. And if you're the head beekeeper in charge of the deal, you know, you want to make sure it goes right. And as much as their family and you trust them to do everything, I mean, it's just, you want to see it with your own eyes for curiosity's sake. And they did a great job last year. Like I said, we had 27 out of 32 hives survive. I think a couple of them were low on bees, and that's why they didn't make the winter. They got too cold. They didn't starve. They had plenty of food. And I think it was just because I should have made them stronger hives, or I should have wintered them with a double screen board, so a weaker hive over a stronger hive to give them the heat. My smoker here. There's just diatomaceous earth that beetles go through the slots in it, and they don't do well in the diatomaceous earth. It cuts them like glass and dries them out. Like I said, any foragers that I pulled over into the other hive will fly back to this one the first time they fly out. There we go. Get those bees brushed off. That off of there. I'll stick these frames back in here. Slide this over. And the bees will draw these combs. I'm giving them 6 empty comb to draw. So I wanted to show you what fat comb looks like. So you can see how they've drawn this out pretty far on both sides. It's because the frame next to them was empty, and this is completely full of nectar on both sides. Nice and heavy. This is from the second split that we made last week. And I'm trying to find the queen now. We'll let you know what we find. And then you can see how nicely they're drawing this out. And it's filling with nectar pretty well too. As we go here. Drawn on both sides. More on this was on the inside, next to that fat comb. So I'm going to move that fat comb to the outside and put this in the middle. So I did find cells in this hive. So the queen should be in here, so I'm going to search for her now, and we'll see what we find out. Bees are all pretty busy here. I moved, this is the hive from the split that I just made. It's not that far over. Like I said, the foragers will go back, but the queen's in there, and she won't move. She'll just stay in there, and hopefully the bees will keep drawing comb for her to lay more eggs. So the next frame over also has brood and milk brood and some eggs and cat brood. And you can see at the top here of the frame, they're making this honey band. That usually means they won't go above it. So I'm going to have to get them to get into the super. And then this is full of larvae and eggs on this side. So this queen is doing real well. as the nectar flow starts here. Like I said, we've had a little bit coming in. Put this back in here. Okay, so I finished going through these hives. This hive ended up, it's got plenty of nectar, pollen, eggs, everything going on. I had to put an extra super on top of that. These two over here, this one here on the left is a little aggressive. I think they might have gone queenless. There's still some brood in there, but she's not real good laying pattern. Same thing here with the one on the right, but they're not as aggressive. So I'll probably end up requeening both these the next time I come down here. Okay, so now we're over at the other batch of hives here in Madison. I'm going to see if we got any queens in these two hives. And then, and this one here. Those are the three we made the splits out of. And we'll see what's going on. So this first hive is doing quite well on the right. Got all the future honey here. We got nectar all over this. They're drawing this comb in the 2 weeks since we've been here. And they're filling it up. It looks like they've drawn all the other comb here as I start going through here. I checked these two hives here. I did not find a queen, but I did find evidence of a emerged cell. You can see this is they're drawing fat comb here on this frame. Oh boy, that's a heavy one. All that comb nice and fat. I'm gonna have to slide this off to the side, get to the outside. Move these other combs to the middle. I'm doing a nice job of drawing this one out. So the fat comb was drawn last year, and then since there was nothing next to it, they started drawing into it, and then they start capping it off. And so if we get to this next frame here, same thing. They drew into it there. This was a wax, looks like it was a wax foundation here on this one. And they're drawing into that. You can see how they attached it. Attached it right here to that frame. So you get a little bridge comb, and then on this side too. So the honey's open there. So when I squeeze them together here, sometimes bees will get trapped. So I gotta try to go real gentle. Squeeze that like that. Then I'm just gonna slide this fat comb over, since they did a good job of drawing on these other ones. It looks like if there's no brood up here anymore, a couple drone brood cells, but nope, this is all honey. Slide that over here. And they started capping this one. On this side here, you can see all that top capping, so I'm just going to put that real close to this one. I think I'm going to put another box on top of here, pull one of these frames up, and have them draw into that one. And put a queen excluder in between just to keep the bees down, or the drones down below. Yeah, they're doing a nice job of drawing all these frames. There's definitely some type of nectar flow going on here. So I'm going to make sure that I shake the bees off of here, because I don't want any drones in the top box. Because the drones can't get through the queen excluder. And then we'll slide these frames over. And I'll stick this one here. Draw another one over. I haven't found diatomaceous earth to bother the bees at all. But I know the beetles do not survive it. that just like that. And that back top. The screen here. All right. I'll get into these other ones. So I got the bees all stirred up, as you can see. I didn't find the queens in those two hives. I did find the queen in this hive. I didn't mark her yet because the fact that I want to wait until I see brood before I mark her. So we'll see how these turn out. It's a pretty good day. The weather held off. It didn't rain anymore. And then I ended up doing the swarm trap move. Let me go over there and show you that real quick. So as you can see here, I have the swarm trap moved. It was up here up top, and I took it down, put all the bees in the hive here, and just leaned the box up here. Looks like they're still coming back to the box, but then they're moving over to the hive. So I'm going to let that be, as they say, and wait until they calm down. Then I'll seal them up, and I'm going to bring those back to Boyd, and these will be his bees. Boyd's a friend of mine. So here we go. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're up to 60 subscribers now, last I looked. Really appreciate everyone subscribing, and we'll see where our bee adventure grows. Thank you. So here we are a couple hours later, and you can see the bees have all settled down into the box. I'm going to see if I'm going to wait a couple hours, and I'm going to seal them in. But you can see bees flying up here, looking for the old swarm trap, which was right there on that hook. Right there. And I'll put that trap back up after I leave. Thanks for watching.